So I am Jenna and this is Bruce. He just wanted to get in the camera, which he's just really cute. He's gonna go now. So I am Jenna and I'm the founder and creative director of Shrine. So thank you very much for watching this video. So basically I've wanted to set up a YouTube channel for ages, mainly just because I feel like one of the main reasons I ever wanted to start the Gypsy Shrine was because I just wanted to like understand business, and then my goal one day was to become like this business consultant and motivational speaker, and it's something I've kind of just completely neglected, to be honest, since starting, because every second, every minute, every moment of my life for the last, when did I start this, since 2015, 4 years, it has been Gypsy Shrine, Gypsy Shrine, Gypsy Shrine, and I've never stopped for a second, and I've never kind of let myself do something else. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, well, I can't waste time doing that because I need to be thinking of work. So yeah, so that's kind of why I want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown of my experience, like before I started the Gypsy Shrine, because I know someone's question was, do you need experience? I actually definitely think if I hadn't have done 3 years, I think it was, experience before I started, I would have struggled with a lot of different areas. Not all, but I did learn so much working. So yeah, so I basically went to university in Manchester and I studied international fashion marketing, and on the course you had the opportunity to do a placement year. So I managed to get a placement with Hugo Boss in New York, which was insane. I was there for 8 months, doing like working in the marketing department, like visual merchandising department, just doing lots of different jobs. That was really fun. And then for the last month when I was there, my friend was also working at Rebecca Minkoff in design. So I was like, oh, can I get involved and can I like do a month with you? So I did a month with her, and she then, I was like, I actually really like design, and I like the more creative side of things, because I thought I wanted to just go into marketing. So then when I got back to London, I still had like 6 more months to fill my placement up with. So then I found a job at Christopher Rayburn, who is a menswear designer, and they do like London Fashion Week and yeah, very high-end clothing. So I managed to get an assistant product development job there, which was just amazing. I feel like I learned so much. I was really kind of like thrown in the deep end. I remember like my manager, who's now my best friend, shouting stuff out to me, and I was thinking, I don't know what I'm about, and I'm just gonna Google it. But I remember, yeah, that was just an amazing experience. And then I went from there to Amelia Wickstead. So again, she was like, she still is like a ready-to-wear women's wear designer. It was London Fashion Week. We made clothes for a lot of famous people. Like, that was pretty insane. We made massive wedding dresses of Alexa Chung. So yeah, so that was really cool. And then I went from there to Burberry, again, all doing product development. So product development is basically when you work with a designer, the designer designs something, and you take the design and you turn it into a product. So that's kind of what I always did. So I'd been doing that for about 3 years at the end of my time at Burberry, and I loved it, but I kind of was ready for something different. I felt like because I did a placement year, then I went straight back into university, then the day I finished university, the Monday after, I then started back at my old job. I just felt like I never had a break. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna quit and I'm just gonna have a summer of fun, get a transit van, do some festivals, and then I'll get a real job again in September. So that was kind of my plan. And that's basically where the Gypsy Shrine all began. From, yeah, me quitting my job and just thinking to go for it. So how I kind of then tie in, you're probably thinking, where on earth does like body paint and all this tie into fashion? It doesn't. So alongside working in fashion, alongside kind of doing university, I've always had a huge passion for body painting. It's something I've done for years, and when I was in New York, actually, I was really fortunate enough I found like this, I'm just getting comfortable. I found in Brooklyn, there was like this amazing body artist studio, and he was looking for like interns at the time. So I remember going after I'd been at Hugo Boss, I then went down to this body paint studio, and it was just so cool. And I just remember thinking, this is sick, like how do I make this my full-time job? And then, yeah, then I went back to uni. I thought, right, I've paid a lot of money to do university, I should carry on doing fashion. And then when I was in London working at Burberry, and all my other jobs, I was working as like a kid's body painter on a weekend. So I just made like quite a lot of cash from that. And then I managed to do the World Body Paint Championships in Austria, which if you love body painting or if you're a creative person, I strongly recommend. Like, it is just such a magical place. It's like on this big huge lake, so it's beautiful anyway. And then there's all these like little huts, and all these like painters have like 7 hours to turn people into whatever the theme is, and it's just, yeah, it's just so cool. I just remember thinking, oh, I've got to figure this out. Like, I want to do this all the time. And like, even when I think back to that moment, I just get so excited about body paint and everything. So that's always been my passion. But it's before Instagram, and being a body painter, yes, you could obviously be a body painter, but it wasn't as like, I couldn't really see where to take it or where to go with it. So yeah, so that's kind of how it all fell into place, I guess. And yeah, then I started. So right, how did it all start? So yeah, so I was at a festival with Mike, who's my fiance, and we were just wandering around. I saw a few people like doing a few like bits of face paint at the festival, and I'm thinking, I could do this, and I could do this a bit better. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Like, what have I got to lose? So then I started researching like festivals. I'd only ever been to like Leeds Festival and that one festival before that, so I wasn't even a huge festival goer. It's not as if I'm like obsessed with festivals. So I just started researching, got together every single festival in the UK, figured out how to apply, realised that you needed like a deck and a creative deck of what your tent would look like. So then I started designing that. I've actually got, which I'll try and find a picture and like drop it in, I made a 3D model of my tent, and then took pictures of it, and that was like my application pitch. Then so quit my job, went to Australia for a month with my best friend. She was living out there at the time, and I remember we did like, I emailed this guy who was running this Fatboy Slim event, and I was like, I'd only just started the Instagram page. I was like, hey, we do like glitter and stuff at festivals, like please can we come and do your event? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we went and did Fatboy Slim in Melbourne, I can never pronounce it. And I remember just thinking, right, I'm gonna make this work, because that was sick. We've just made, I think we made like $800. And then we watched Fatboy Slim, and I was just like, you know, something just makes you feel so happy. I was like, just so happy. So then from me on, I was like, right, this is gonna work. Then on the flight home, I remember thinking, oh, actually, what have I done? I'm going back to no job, still got to pay rent, and haven't been accepted for a festival yet. And then I was literally in the airport on the way back to the UK, and Secret Garden Party emailed saying, you've been accepted. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is actually happening. So then, yeah, then I was like, right, this is happening. So I was like, right, what have I got to do? Had to buy everything for the tent, had to kit the tent out, had to buy a van, had to find staff, had to train everyone. So I remember in my old flat in London, we did like a little training session, which was really cool. And yeah, then the festival season just started. And then at the same time as about to launch festival season, I just imported loads of like single jewels from China or somewhere just to use as like at the events. And my dad was like, these look a bit rubbish, why don't you make your own? And I remember thinking, that's not a bad idea actually. So then I was like piecing them all together, and I was thinking, this is what the design I would create on someone's face. Why don't I just make that for someone to just put on the face? So that's kind of where the all-in-one face jewel came from. Just basically playing around and thinking something would look quite cool. And then yes, then we did the festivals, and they were a disaster, to be honest. The first festival we did, I mean, it was amazing fun, but we did not make money. I remember thinking, right, festival 1, I'm gonna make 5 grand. Festival 2, 6. Festival 3, 7. Won't even need to do a festival 4. I'll have that much money, I'll just go on holiday for the rest of the summer. Obviously that wasn't my plan, but that was kind of my mindset, like I'm gonna make loads of money. Festival 1, I was like, oh, we didn't actually make much, didn't break even. Festival 2, it was an absolute shambles. It was my fault. I decided that I didn't have to listen to the instructions of the festival people, and just parked up wherever I wanted to. So I parked near the main stage, set the whole tent up. I was like, yeah, this looks sick, let's go with this. And then get a phone call from the guy like, Jenny, you're literally going to be kicked off the site if you do not get into the place we positioned you in. I was like, Alright, okay. So then I had to pack the whole tent down, drive mud about this thick, drive through the mud to try and get to our right festival pitch. But because I had messed up so bad, we ended up right at the top of this hill, and it was just like a sheer slide of mud. So like for the whole festival, 3 people I think walked past. So I think we made about £20 at that festival, and it cost me about £1,200 to be there. And then festival 3, again, just made no money. I just remember coming home, Mum like saying, Jenna, is this really what you want to do? And I was like, yes, it is. Like, something's going to work. And then something did work. I kept pushing, and the face jewels, I managed to get a meeting with Pretty Little Thing. So I had a meeting with their buyer. Went down to met them, and they were like, yeah, we love it, we'll buy it in. So they bought it in, and then I was like, well, okay, we're in with this big brand, we can get into more, let's try and work with them a bit more. Like, let's not just put our product in there, how else can we work with them? So Secret Garden Party was coming up, and I was like, right, how can we work with Pretty Little Thing at Secret Garden Party? So I reached out and said, why don't you come with us? Well, I'll buy your festival tickets, and we'll do like a big takeover, we'll create loads of content, and it'll just be like really fun. Because it's kind of, it was the year 2016 when like festivals were just getting like really popular. So they were kind of like, yeah, we'd love to. And I was like, all right, this is happening. So then because of that, because of like the piggyback effect, they had a lot of Instagram followers, they posted it, it got seen, and then everyone else wanted to work with us. Then we were getting reached out by all these other brands like, hey, do you want to come into our studio and create content for us? And then it was all these things that were just happening that were triggering like things in my head, thinking, right, well, if one person wants that, 5 other more people might want that. And then if 5 people want that, how do I make it work? So it's kind of, I think I was just really reactive to every single thing that happened and tried to make it bigger, I guess. So then, yeah, so then that kind of all happened, and then that's when I was like, right, there's a bit more of a leeway here to work with brands. And so then we got the products into more places. I tried so hard to get our products into Topshop. The buyer just was just not really interested, which is fair enough, but I was just like pestering. And I think I thought, oh, I've emailed her like 60 times. I can't keep emailing her. She's probably just blocked my email anyway. So then that's again when I was like, right, I want to get into Topshop. I'm going to get into Topshop. And I just was like, right, I'm not getting in this way. I'm going to get in a different way. And that's when I started brainstorming, thinking like, right, she doesn't want me, which is fine. But who will? I'm like, right, marketing, we've got, right, marketing will want us. So what can we do? So Halloween was coming up, and I was thinking of all these ideas, like, what do they want to do at Halloween? They want to get people in store, they want to make it fun for them. Like, I put my head in her head, do you know what I mean? Like, I imagined I was the marketing manager at Topshop. What would she want to do for Topshop? And what would her, like, goals be, I guess. So then I literally proposed to Topshop that we did this big marketing activity where we'd offer in-store activations. We would give free glitter makeovers for customers who spent over £50 in store. And it was all free. We didn't make any money off this one activation. And she loved it. We had a phone call. We went into the store, and yeah, it was insane. Like, people were literally, I remember grabbing stuff, like, how much is it? And I was like, it's free, you spent 50 quid in store. And they're like, what? And they were just like grabbing things off the rails. And then like, just to get the makeover, I was like, this is insane. And then because of how successful that was, the concessions team then must have seen like the queues and stuff, and then reached out and were like, okay, this did quite well, do you fancy coming in as like a pop-up? And I was like, yeah, okay. So then at Christmas we did a pop-up where we actually sold products, and that did like amazing for us. So yeah, so that's kind of where it all began, working with Topshop. That did really well, and then that was kind of closed off the end of that was our first year really, 2016, where we just kind of, when I say we, it was just me at the time and the team of artists. But yeah, it was just like a really interesting year, just like running with it, people saying, do you do this? I remember the first time the Topshop buyer did reply to me, she said, do you have a Halloween collection? And I was like, yeah, of course, we'll get it to you on Friday. And I was like, made a Halloween collection. So thank you, she was called Jessie, for suggesting that, because if you hadn't, I might not have ever thought to do Halloween, and it's actually become our most populous time. that's not a word, most popular time. So yeah, so I think I've just been really reactive. The first year, I mean, we still are really reactive. As soon as someone says anything, we're like, yeah, we can do it. And I'm like, guys, how do we do this? How do we make it happen? So I think what I'm gonna take from my first year, and if it is your first year in business, or if you're thinking about setting up a business, I think be really reactive. If someone in a position like a buyer or someone that's influential is asking for something, don't just be like, no, I don't do that. Sorry, this is me, I don't do that. Maybe think, oh, should I try and do this? Should I try and make it work? Because that might be my footstep into it, and then I can be like, well, actually do my other bits as well. And don't give up. Like, I could have easily given up after 3 festivals. I made no money at, and I was covered in mud, and I was just like, this isn't really working. I thought I'd be like proper rich by the end of like July. And not that I've done this, like, yeah, and I just wasn't. I lost a lot of money at that point. So don't be demotivated by it not going like perfect straight away, but try and figure out why it's not gone perfect. And I think as soon as I realised I wasn't naive, I didn't go, oh, these 3 festivals haven't done well, I'm only going to do festivals. I said, these festivals aren't doing that well, so I'm now going to think of, this really isn't the key going forward. Festivals are good, and I'll still want to do them always, but this isn't going to make me a massive. So I was like, it's in the product. I need to get this product bigger. So I'll work with the festivals. What can I get out of the festivals? Content. Content. It's when Instagram was getting massive. Like, we were putting pictures up on Instagram, they were getting thousands of likes, and we only had about 5,000 followers. So that was like, we need to do these festivals to get all the content in the product, but then we need to push the product and make the product massive. So it did all go hand in hand, but I think it's just identifying that and working with it as well, I guess. And what else did I take from it? I just had fun. Like, I just remember having so much fun. I think in recent years, I've obviously had loads of fun, but it's become a business, do you know what I mean? It's become really stressful. It's a lot of stuff to do, which I'll go on to and bore you all in other ones. But just enjoy it, like, just enjoy every moment of it. And I really did. I remember at the festivals, because you're in these amazing environments, I remember just always taking it in and going, yes, this is sick. Like, even if this just lasts 1 year, I'm happy. I've done it. And I'm even just getting really happy talking about it, because like I said, I don't really ever reflect on what I've done ever, because I don't have time. So it's actually really nice just thinking, yeah, I did that, and it was really nice. But yeah, if you are in your first year, or if you're just thinking of a business idea right now, just start. Like, I think that's another thing as well, just start, just do it. Even with this video, I was like writing all the stuff down, mapping out all the episodes. I'm doing that because I'm cringing. And then I thought, oh God, this is boring me. I was like, I'm just gonna start. So I've just started today, and I thought, right, I'm just doing it. So I think just start and love what you're doing, believe in it. Like, I remember, I think there's times when I've even lost love in some bits and then found it back again. But I remember back then, like, I knew that Topshop should have my product, do you know what I mean? I was like, you were wrong. This buyer, I was like, you were wrong. Like, I just believed in it so much. And I think you have to have that. Like, you have to feel that belief in your product. I feel like it's probably the same feeling that if you have a kid and they're the best dancer, even though they're probably might not be, I don't know, but you believe they are, do you know what I mean? And it's just kind of, you've got to have that in yourself, and you've got to have that in your product, and then everything else will just kind of like come and go. So yeah, so if you're watching this, take away from it that I want you to go away, and I want you to tell yourself, like, I have got the best product and I'm great and I'm gonna make this work, and tell yourself it 10 times every single day for the next week. That's your homework. But yeah, I hope that made some sense. That was kind of like 2016, where it all started, and next time I'll talk about kind of what really got us from being me, a one-man band, with my team of freelancers. I was still just working out of my flat at this point, to then what kind of took us off. And yeah, so like 2017, which I'll go through in the next episode, was like the most mental year, I think. But yeah, thank you. I hope that made sense.